And we're back here on the Pitch Putt and Puff podcast. My name is Roger, aka RGB. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Before we get rolling, though, let's get a shout out to a couple sponsors. First, we got Shady Shafts. Make sure you guys go check out shadyshafts.com. Shady Shafts, they offer a bunch of different options over there. They have a variety of different styles. They customize a nice little setup for your boy RGB here, which I'll show you in a second. But what you can do is you can wrap your shafts. They have the camouflage wraps, as you see here on the screen if you're watching. Very easy to apply. It can be done within a few minutes. I got the cannabis flower, as you see on the screen, with the custom RGB right on there. So you can get them personalized. So go check out shadyshafts.com. When you do, make sure you use promo code PUFF20 to save yourself 20% at checkout. Shadyshafts.com, promo code PUFF20. And we also got for you guys is Back Nine Botanicals. Make sure you guys check out Back Nine Botanicals. Over there, you can use promo code TPUFF10. TPUFF10 will save you 10% at checkout. Bunch of different CBD options to get you through the day. The Players Blend, the Birdie Boost, as well as the Moonlight Mulligan. And they recently came out with the THC Shooter. So go check out back9botanicals.com, promo code TPUFF10. And our newest sponsor, which I'm really excited about, we got Transcend Wellness. Transcend Wellness is located at 289 Oakwood Avenue in Troy. It's the first New York State dispensary to have a drive-through, especially here in upstate New York where you got snow on the ground right now and freezing cold. Make sure you guys take advantage of the drive-through. You can go online at transcendwps.com, place your order, pull right up to the drive-through, pick it up, and keep it moving. Don't even have to get out of the car. But do get out of the car and check out the dispensary. It's a really nice setup. Junior and company are doing a great job over there. Very talented and knowledgeable staff. So, and it's set up a little bit different than other dispensaries. It's for what you're looking for, kind of thing, in the wellness side for recovery, sleep, and such. So, really cool how they got it set up. I've been enjoying a nice heirloom pink rose vape, all in one disposable. So go give them a shout out. Let them know the Pitch Puff crew sent you. We got some plans to do some collabs in the future here, so stay tuned for that. But 289 Oakwood Avenue, Transcend Wellness. Like I said, go online, transcendwps.com. They have a drive-through and a delivery service available as well. Going to take a quick break here and going to get into another episode with some conspiracy to it. Going to bring on Day Drinking with Dog. It's a podcast. My man out of Connecticut. Met him at the golf tournament this past summer for Anthony from Upstate Golf Guys, his uncle's memorial tournament there. So got a chance to chop it up with him a little bit. I'm going to have him on and see what his podcast is all about and a little bit about his golf game. And we're back here on the Pitch Putt and Puff. Once again, my name is Roger, aka RGB. Joining me today, we got Jeremy from Day Drinking with Dog. What's up, man?
What's going on, Raj?
Not much, buddy. Appreciate you jumping on.
Yeah, me.
I don't know why this video always plays when I.
Yeah,
it's cold. You're in Connecticut, so not too far away from me here. Yeah, it's not too bad today. It's in the 30s, which is nice. Next week it's going to be in the I think like 10 degrees or something.
You guys getting snow up there on Sunday night, Monday morning?
I think so. Yeah. Yep.
Like 8 inches. I'm like, just get it over with.
Yeah, it's been good. The past couple of years hasn't been too bad up here. It's been only a storm or two. Yeah, so not too bad.
I think like Southerners don't realize like the beauty of seasons. You know, they all laugh when we get snow, but really it's not that long. I mean, you get it probably more than we do on the coast down here, but I honestly wouldn't change it for the world. I love fall, spring, summer and summer. It's going to be hot and muggy and whatever, but can't beat fall and spring golf.
No, I'd cut the winter a little bit shorter if we could, just to get more golf in there. But I totally agree. It's nice. So I met you when we were at the Maurizio tournament. Anthony's uncle there. But then you got the podcast going. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the podcast and how you got into it?
Yeah, so I started like right as COVID kind of was coming into their first winter, and I am in the restaurant business, and we were shutting down again. It had already shut down, per the mandates. And then we were self-shutting down because it was just dead. So that January of 2021 would have been, we did like a 8-week shutdown. I was just bored, and I'm like, I got a little like podcast kit, and I started by myself, and I was talking about NFL playoffs. I didn't know where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I had some guys that were like, constructively criticizing the show, and they're like, you really need a guest and blah, blah, blah. So I started getting guests, and my girlfriend was like, they were doing it in my kitchen table when she was at work, and she was like, and she's a nurse. She's like, should you really have people over during COVID? I'm like, all right, I gotta move this thing.
Yeah.
And it was just all friends, people I knew, and then I got a little studio that I'm still in now, sitting here today, and it's it started out, a lot of it in the beginning was just like promotional stuff, like bringing restaurant owners on, how to deal with COVID, and trying to promote places that were struggling, stuff like that. I live in a nice town of Milford, Connecticut. It's a big town, but it's it's a good community of
Right.
restaurants and bars and stuff, and we all for the most part get along. So I started doing that, and then through that, as you probably know, like you start meeting people and they know people, and it just kind of snowballs. It's pretty cool. And I just start bringing on, like, I had Dan Patrick on from the old ESPN guy, to Steve Phillips, the ex-GM of the Mets. And it's amazing how many people living around Milford And but the last 6 months, I've kind of dove into the conspiracy shit because it really intrigues me. So my show is really all over the place. There's no like rhyme or reason to it. It's really about the guests that I bring on, and it's fun.
It's fun. Yeah. The really what it is about doing this. Like you said, the networking, hearing people's stories and shit. Like that's really the best part about it. It really is. Like for you growing up, you were probably watching ESPN as a kid and everything else, and Dan Patrick, but get the chance to sit down and talk to Dan Patrick. Like that's a cool like experience.
Yeah, my best friend said it because he's kind of a douche. And I'm not afraid to tell him that to his face. But he was 100% professional. We did like an hour-long show, and I see him around town every once in a while. Like he'll say hi to me and stuff. But my best friend was like, at the end of the fucking day, you had fucking Dan Patrick coming to you to talk about sports. That's pretty cool. And I'm like, yeah, you're not wrong there. So it was, and he's got great stories. He from Jordan winning the '98 finals to Tom Brady. I think he was at the Super Bowl against Seattle, the Malcolm Butler play.
Oh yeah, and the Marshawn Lynch.
Pretty cool. He was kind of running down because they have to line up like everyone they're going to interview after the game. Obviously, the winners.
Yep.
Seattle's 2-yard line. They're all right. We're going to do Pete Carroll, Marshawn Lynch, and Russell Wilson. And then boom, the interception happens. Like, oh fuck, we got to do Tom Brady, Bill Belichick. They're like scrambling on the fly to figure out who they're. It was a pretty cool story.
That's cool. So you started taking it into the conspiracy world. What got you into conspiracies?
So, kind of my own thing on Twitter, X, whatever. I started following. He's called the Flat Earther, and I've always been kind of like, did the moon landing happen? What happened to Titanic? I've always been that. Questioning shit. But I started following this guy, and I just didn't understand why. And it just so it's known, I'm not either way. It's still something I'm digging into, but they post a lot of other stuff too, like wormhole, rabbit hole shit, stuff like that. And my biggest question was, why? Like, why would they fucking hide this? Like, why is this a conspiracy? Like, why would the earth be flat and they're telling us it's round? And then I just going down that rabbit hole, and a lot of it, some of it really makes a lot of sense. And as far as if you distrust the government, it makes a lot of sense. And there's obviously a lot of things that could, disprove it as well. So I like going on the sites and just reading the comments. It's like, the funny thing is, when it comes to conspiracies, is I saw this the other day, and it kind of rang true. Like flat earthers, like real flat earthers, don't believe anything anyone says to them ever. And globers, if you believe believe everything that's told to him.
Right.
I feel like you and I, or like everyone we talk, fall somewhere in the middle. Like there's some, like, I don't watch mainstream media anymore. I mean, I'll turn off every once in a while, but that's just to watch, like, the 5 or something, just something stupid. But I try to gather all my information online, and X is a great source. Like
X is awesome. It's really like,
yeah,
especially over the past like year or so, I've jumped back on there. Like I took a break from it for a while,
yeah,
but I got back on there. There's so it's like it's true like open media. Like there's no restrictions. There's no like I don't have to worry about getting flagged because of the puff like I
right,
do on
right.
Instagram and Facebook and such. So it's definitely making my life a little bit easier. I've started making my way over there a little bit, and all the conspiracies don't get knocked down. Like a lot
Right.
of like the guys I follow, like Sam Tripoli and my man XG and Eddie Bravo, all those guys, like they go on Instagram, they get maybe 500 likes on a thing. They're over on X, they're getting 130,000 likes. It's
Right.
just like you can see where they're being shadow banned and everything else too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
tough. Yeah, I'm my flat Earth man. I was the same way with flat Earth. I kind of think we're in. Remember those old school like air hockey tables, almost
Yeah.
like the football, like with the dome over the top.
Yeah.
That's what I
Domo.
think we're in with the
Yep.
firmament and everything else.
Yeah.
I mean, you can go deep into it with the whole Bible mentioning the firmament and all that shit too. So there's a lot. There's a lot into it.
That's kind of where I like veer off a little bit because I'm not a very religious person.
Hmm.
I can't side with the really religious, verbatim what the Bible's telling you. That's just not me. But like, you see that Elon Musk rocket that
Yeah.
blew? So it took off in Texas and debris landed like Turks and Caicos, which is like almost 2,000 miles away. So they said like the rocket was gonna like just do a lap around the Earth. I don't know why,
Hmm.
but a lot of the conspiracies with there being a firmament or something that we can't get to outer space. Like why is there like you ever seen any rocket video? They start going straight up and then they turn away from the
Yeah.
Earth
Yep.
over the ocean. We're just again taking everyone's word for it.
Yeah.
Then people shoot back. Oh, but you're a big Musk guy. I'm like, I never said that. Like, he may be part of the plan. I don't fucking know. Just
Right.
because
He's a
ain't
tough one to really get a judgment on, like a gauge on. Is he with us or is he against us,
right.
kind of thing? I can't tell with him.
I can't either. It's crazy. I want to like him. I mean, I like him. I mean, he's fine, but I just don't.
I'm looking at him
I
like,
don't
is he Bruce Wayne or is he Lex Luthor? You
know.
know?
Right. Right. Like, did he finally? All right, I'm in the White House now. Now I can like unleash my plan. Kind of thing. Or is he just really like, all right, it's free Wi-Fi for everybody? I don't know.
Right. Let up Starlink go and all that shit. I
Yeah.
remember when one time I was out on the porch with my wife and we seen a Starlink thing going up, but we didn't know what it was at the time.
Right.
And she goes, I don't even want to tell you right now, but look up there. Cause she knows I'm crazy with the conspiracies and everything
Yeah.
else. And I'm like, I look at her, she goes, I'm like, you see that, right? She goes, well, obviously. I'm like, all right, I'm not crazy. And like literally the next day in the newspaper, there was something, oh, Starlink satellite seen over the East Coast, blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
Yeah.
I thought I seen something for once. It's like I told you, but wasn't so lucky. What's one of your favorite conspiracies to get into?
uh, the one I've just started. Well, my favorite one, I would say flat Earth at the moment. It's just
Yeah,
like a fence. I don't know. But it's something I like kind of look into daily. But I've been trying to. I really want to. I was telling Anthony this. I really want to dive into the Great Wall of China. Because just the just the mass of the structure and how long it is. Like they said, you could start the Great Wall of China. I think in like Boston,
yeah.
go to L.A. and back. That's how long this fucking thing is.
Oh shit.
Like that's insane.
Have you got
Some of the old
into
structures and the old time architecture, like how do they fucking pull that shit off with like no lasers, no fucking, like
yeah?
I think ancient civilizations is something that if they know, they're not telling us, but it's like right in front of our face.
So so have you got into any of like the Nephilim or even like Tartaria and the mud floods and all that shit?
Yeah, a little bit. I like the giants theory. Uh, you see a lot like I don't know who you follow, but I see a lot of like they think like these mountains are old trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think I hate to say science could probably prove that wrong, but it probably could. Wood is not stone.
Right.
probably do a scientific test, or they probably already done it. I don't know, but
Yeah, they know. We
yeah,
just don't want to tell us. That's all.
yeah. I think there's, I mean, it makes sense, and that kind of ties in with flat Earth too, like behind the ice wall and all that stuff. Like like to my earlier point, like why I was digging into flat Earth is like what's the point of it?
Hmm.
Basically, the big synopsis is what's beyond the ice wall.
Yeah.
Is there more technology? Is there more lands? Is it free land? Is it why are the governments all protecting? Like we can't get along on shit, but we all get along on
We
our.
all agree on that. Yep, I always say that, man. I
Like what the
always say that. They did you see the video? Gosh, I can't remember who did it, but they just did a video or a test up in Antarctica about the sun. There was something to do with flat Earth. A bunch of flat
uh,
earthers went up there.
yeah, it was called the final experiment.
The final experiment. There you go. Yep.
Yeah,
And they went and the sun went around, and they said
yeah,
allegedly like that means the Earth isn't flat or something, or I don't know. There was
yeah.
some
They say the
crazy thing.
24-hour sun is not feasible on a flat Earth model. Now, flat earthers immediately came on, which I was expecting.
Right.
It's crazy. It's like flat Earth and Globies are like fucking Trump and Biden. It's crazy.
It is
Like,
too.
like last night, I worked. I went out after work, and I got a little. I tied one on. Not gonna lie. I get home and I go on Facebook. I think it was Facebook, and there was some image of the Earth that NASA took, and I I commented on it, and I wrote the wrong thing. I wrote NASA has admitted that these photos are fake. Now, they've never admitted that. Is what I wrote, and I got fucking shit for it. What I meant to really say was like they're doctored. All these images are like nothing's like
Oh,
a
yeah.
real image, and they've admitted to that. I'm pretty sure I read that. But again, I was drunk. I'm like, whatever, it's fucking fake, and then everyone just started piling on, and which I love. It's like, what do you care what what do you care what I think? Like
Absolutely.
about the internet. Like, what the fuck do you give a fuck? Some guy you don't know what they think. But yeah, here we are.
There they go. Yeah, man, that's a good one to like. That's a good like. I like to start people on like flat Earth. Like when Anthony really wasn't a big conspiracy guy,
Yeah,
and I was like, let me start you off easy, man. I sent him the Titanic, and then I sent him the next article was about the Olympic and how they swapped the boats out and J.P.
yeah,
Morgan and got there, and then you just slowly like build them up to it just to show like how you can't really trust anything you see on TV or
right.
anything you read in a book. Like it's all a lot of it's just craziness. Yeah, but the one I always enjoy getting into is like Tartaria, the hidden history, like after the mud, like a lot of structures, especially in Troy. I don't know if you were when you were down here if you noticed. There's a lot like old structures like statues and some of our like city hall buildings have the big arched
Yeah,
doorways and all that.
right.
Um, those are pretty cool to get into. I found a guy on Instagram, on YouTube, the Tartarian Explorer, and he was actually did a video of downtown Troy, and
Oh
I
no,
got
shit.
yeah, it was really cool. That was really cool to watch because it was showing obviously everything I knew, but telling the history of what a lot of the
Right,
stuff was that I walked past it 1,000 times. I wouldn't know what the hell it is, It's just a statue
right,
in my
right.
city for all I know.
Yeah, a lot of stuff you look at it, you kind of take it for granted. Like, all right, I just see that every day. Never really thought about it, and then you're like, wow, wow. They're saying this building was built in the 1700s, and look at the size of that door.
Yeah,
Like,
why? Who's opening that door?
open
Exactly.
it with that big old handle on it, like a big ring, a metal ring on it. It's like,
Yeah,
well,
some you'd see in Shrek and shit. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
exactly.
So did you? You're a little bit closer to the coast. You see any drones when you were out in your way?
I personally did not. A lot of so I'm sure your town has it too. You have like you live in Milford, kind of whatever, a Milford page.
Sure.
But we're saying so. I'm like I don't know, as a crow's flies, probably a quarter mile from the beach, but like to get me there, side roads and shit, probably a couple miles.
Hmm.
They were saying a lot of people are online saying they saw a lot of stuff. Fairfield, Connecticut had a lot of sightings, and that's about a 15-minute drive from me down the shoreline. There's some of their videos made like Fox News and stuff. I personally didn't see anything. Uh, I don't know. I haven't. Have you come to a personal conclusion about all that?
I really haven't yet. I know. ah, I have some family that's in the military,
Yeah.
and I was asking him about it, kind of thing, and he couldn't tell me much because he works on some projects involving drones and stuff. And he said there's really nothing to worry about. He goes, there's just we can't. I don't think our government can say what's going on, because if they say what's going on, then that means we have to tell Russia and China what we know. So that's part of the reason why they kind of didn't tell us, kind of thing. But I got a feeling it was involving the missing nuclear shit, and they were actually, like the guy who said on Rogan, like the sniffers looking for the nuclear weapons that are lost that they obviously don't want to tell us about.
Right.
So I don't know.
Maybe.
That's a sketchy one, man. It's just too. That's especially being here on the East Coast, that's a little too close for comfort.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I lived in Florida for a year, and when I moved back, and literally it was 9/11 was like a couple months later, and we could see the smoke from the shoreline. Bill, I mean, it's far away, but and I was just like, the beauty of, we were just talking about how much we love living up this way,
Yep.
and natural disasters, outside of a hurricane here or there, a big snowfall, we're pretty good. But we got a lot of financial institutions around us. I mean, Hartford is the insurance capital of the world, or the country. We're a good attack point, and plus
Yeah.
we have right there, so they can come right up.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't worry my brain every day, but it makes sense if something were to happen. We can't be surprised.
Right. Right. Yeah, that's a crazy one too, and like how everything else is going on with like the Vegas bomber, and it kind of takes you. All right, we're so fast as just a society to move on to the next thing. It's insane. Like, if no one's talking about the drones anymore, everybody's on to the next thing. No one's even talking about the Vegas guy in the Sean Ryan episode anymore. It's all on to the next
Yeah.
thing. It just keeps going and going. It's just
The LA fires. So I get the New York Post delivered every day to me.
yeah,
The LA fires are like page 8 right now.
that's crazy. And it's still burning. This is day 10.
Still
It's just
burning.
burning.
It's it'll be a story about like some actor. Oh, who was it? Tom Hanks's house was spared. Well, of course it was.
Yeah, right. Him and Oprah and all the other diddlers that are out there in Hollywood. That's another one. Him and like the whole Epstein thing. You think Trump will actually release the Epstein list? You think anybody will ever release the Epstein list?
No.
I think we'll get the Diddy list, but I don't think we're going to get the Epstein list.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't think so.
That's one that
Too much.
just
Like,
yeah,
look at Trump could be like the most rogue fucking, president of all time, which he might be anyway. But his, he's got, there's too much intertwined. He may hate, let's say, Oprah, but there's, 50 people in the middle that are telling him, just leave her alone and we'll do this for you. This just,
yep.
it's so, the system is so corrupt that I don't think any of these lists will come out because, if you implicate that person, well, that person's friends with that. You know what I mean? It's just
It's the snowball effect. There'll be no one left.
Right.
There'd be no one left.
Corey Feldman was going to come out and tell all the names that fucking raped him when he was a kid, and he was doing like this whole like Netflix show live, and I think it crashed or something, and he never fucking said one name. And this is Corey Feldman, who probably was raped as a kid,
right?
But he's not naming names. Why?
Yeah.
Why?
He's got He's got nothing to lose at this point.
He's still not going to actually name somebody. He promoted it like he was going to, and it's just like, here's just another like slap in the face to the public that we're never going to get the answers.
No, nope.
And that's why I love Twitter. I love independent journalism.
Yeah.
You can't believe it all. Take it with a grain of salt. But
sure.
A lot of it's like when I see something on X, I go right to the comments and I'll scroll down a little bit, and then people start spewing some facts and backing it up with information.
Yeah, like, those are the best. Those are like when I listen to a lot of tinfoil hats too. Like,
yeah,
some guest on there, like you can tell like they're very well researched, they know their shit, and then you can tell there's some that are kind of just like winging it in a way. Like they have facts about some stuff, but some of the facts they have are kind of outlandish on certain things, and like some of the flat earthers that come on, it's like, all right, like I'm not married to either way. Like I said, I think we're kind of in that ball, but there's like some of the shit they're saying, it's like you guys are so far fetched. Like this is really, really tough to believe.
Right.
So you got to find a happy medium with most of the shit.
Like if I had to pick one thing that would like support flat Earth, it wouldn't be firmament or any of that stuff. It'd be just water in general, like water finds its level. Yet it's wrapped around a globe, spinning all these miles an hour, and it's just peaceful harmony. Like I don't know, it's just like it's one of those things when I was a kid and I thought about the universe and I looked at the stars in my telescope.
Yeah.
Like the questions, like, oh man, what's that? You know, and then as I got older, you know, even before they got into the internet, I mean, Twitter's only been around for not even 20 years,
Right.
you know, or any of these social medias for that matter. Like really, really dived into, you know, to that. And I'm
I
like,
still look in the sky and say, what the hell else is out there? At
yeah,
41 years old, you know, shit, you don't know. I bought a telescope just a few years back, and every once in a while I'll pop it out and just sit on the porch and smoke a doob and check out some stuff up there. Pretty neat.
I found a P1000 on eBay for like 1,200. I didn't bite the bullet yet though. It comes from
Yeah.
like Nikon camera. It's got like 125 zoom.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but they stopped making it. Now the conspiracy theorists say they stopped making it because the government told them to stop making it.
Huh.
You know, that's the camera that's been trying to disprove the globe and the curvature.
Okay.
And so, like, you know, I'm sure you've seen the Chicago skyline from across the Great Lake.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and I've actually done some math on it, and it doesn't add up. Like, even the flat earthers are saying, "Oh, it's like 1,800 feet of curvature, and you can still see the fucking building's front door." But it's only like 30 something miles away, and I thought it was 8 inches per mile. And then, you know, 8 times 30 isn't 1,800 feet. So I'm
Yeah.
just like, you know, I question that as well. I'm like, wait, this doesn't make sense. I'm pretty good at math. So I'm like, I do it quick in my head. I'm like, wait, how the hell did they come up with 1,800 feet?
Yeah. 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 Man, there's conspiracies are fun, man, to get into. Like I said, the starting Anthony off and getting him into stuff and sending him
Oh, yeah.
links and blowing
Fucking,
his mind on things
yeah.
now.
Kid can't stop now. I don't think
No,
he's
he
sleeping.
can't. No, he's nonstop. Did you see Ross? Did you see this video? Check out this video. Like he was sending me like the Sean Ryan link with the whole the Stockman there or whatever the guy's name was, Sean Stockman or something.
Yeah.
And he was sending me the links before I even had a chance. Like I was at work. He's like, you got to listen to this. I listened to it twice already. I'm like, buddy, calm down. Like I'll get to it. I'll get to it. But yeah, we're hopefully going to start a little conspiracy podcast. We're going to get that up and running hopefully soon.
Yeah.
Just got to make sure he's committed to actually doing it because I don't want to do it all by myself. That's the thing.
Right.
That's the thing. Too much work.
That oil hat one, like it's not advice. I would just, I mean, if I were to do that, I would like do like 5 straight shows all about the same thing, you know, just like really dive in. Cause a lot of this stuff, like you said, the news cycle, like shit changes daily on these conspiracy theories too, or new information comes out.
Yep.
Like I think you were on the show, you guys, you were on his show.
Yeah.
It was a while back where you guys were talking about the Titanic.
Yep.
And all that. And that's, you know, fascinating as a, you know, whether you think it's an insurance scam or, you know,
that was I think that was for the Federal Reserve, and JP Morgan, get Morgan out of there, then they could start the Federal Reserve, and then Rothschilds and everybody else jump in, and now we're screwed paying taxes to Ukraine.
Right. And that, I mean, isn't that the time when they changed the educational system too?
Yep, early 1920s was when the Rothschilds took it over, and then all they didn't want people to be, you know, thinkers. They just wanted workers. So that's why a school looks like a hospital and looks like a prison, and everything's an institution.
Right. I believe they taught the Earth was flat before that.
They did. Before they took over.
A little over 100 years ago, they taught everybody that the Earth was flat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
Right. That's the thing. Like, why? Why does that change? Yeah.
Right.
Why?
I don't
why
know.
does that change?
What's the, you know, and then you could take the side of the Earth being a globe. Like one guy actually that commented on my fucking drunk comment last night.
Yeah.
He's like, do you think NASA is like spending all this money to fake out, you know, just land rockets in the ocean and all this stuff just to make people believe?
Yeah.
The Earth is round. And that's exactly what's my response. I'm like,
yeah. I do.
Yep.
They got money to piss away. Like dude, sometimes I even question if we do go to space just in general, because like I don't even know about the moon landing. you can see like even nowadays in like a lot of NASA like videos, they got you can see the bubbles, so like
Yeah.
underwater, and that
Yeah.
explains like all these drones coming up out of the water. I mean, allegedly, who knows? Who knows what?
Bitch with the fucking hair that's up there now.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, it's like her hair. Like, so I watched one this morning. I wasn't looking for it. It just popped up on my feed, and like she turns her head and her hair. It's like she's hanging upside down. It's like the exact movement.
exactly.
I'm like, wait, she's hanging upside down.
I
Like,
mean, and they've been up there for what, almost a year
right,
now. Been up there for like 10 months or something. That's
right,
insane.
yeah. And they went up there for what, an 8-day mission, and they're trapped or something. Like,
Right. How do they have one? How is there enough food up there for them to survive? Like if people are coming up to like drop off food, they can't take them home.
right,
I don't
right.
understand. I just don't understand it. I guess I
And
don't know. It's wild, man. It's absolutely wild.
funny you
Yeah.
say that. I remember there was a not a blizzard, but there was like a big snowstorm that hit like DC, right? And they're like Virginia and that area are just not prepared for snow. They don't have plows, they don't have salt, they don't have sand, they have nothing. Why, I don't know.
Right.
And there was video of this guy stranded in his car in like a parking lot. And there was like, it was like a helicopter flying over, and they filmed a lady getting out of her car, running and bringing the dude like a plate of food. And then she went back to her car. And in my head, I'm like, why couldn't you just fucking take the dude in your car and bring him home?
Bring them home. Yeah. What the
Like,
fuck? You just leave them there.
in a parking lot, take him home. Like,
The fuck. People
like,
are nuts, man. It's a crazy.
uh,
It's crazy to watch too. Like I go down to New York City for to help my buddy with his Christmas tree business, and to see like so many different people and like how so like some people just don't even like they just zone out. Like people are just in their own world so much. Like they'll just walk into people. They're walking like they don't care. Like no self awareness. Like it's a crazy place. And then you got all the lunatics lighting people on fire and shit down there. That was insane. Like that was like this was the first time I've gone down there and actually seen what they were talking about on the news. Like I don't ever see any
yeah,
homeless people or any of that, but like Times Square was migrant central. Like if you couldn't speak a little bit of Spanish, you would have a tough time navigating your way down there if you
right.
didn't know. Um,
Yeah, my
so that
girlfriend
was
Christmas
interesting.
with her son. And they're like, oh, we just want to go to Bryant Park and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, all right, well, just fucking be careful. Like, seriously.
Hmm.
And then, like, they got home and so everything was, a little dirty, but everything was fine. And then the next day was when the fire broke out at Bryant Park in that fucking little restaurant or something. All
Oh yeah, yeah. That was electrical fire. That actually wasn't like
I don't want right now. Like, who
it's
knows?
nuts, man. Crazy
New
world we
York, New
live
York
in.
is disgusting. New York is just, I won't go there.
It really is, dude. It's so dirty down there. It's just dirty. It's just a dirty city. And like no one gives a shit. No one
No.
cares. It's just a shithole. Now you got to pay an extra $15 to get past 125th Street or whatever it is.
Yeah. And then they just, so they claim that they lose like, I don't know, millions of dollars every year for people basically jumping the turnstile to get on a subway and not paying. So their great idea was they put like spikes on it or something. I was reading this today. And the kids are just jumping over that. It's like, nope. It's like, dude, just, I don't know.
It's
So
nuts.
then the great idea was adding this tax, which either people like I'm reading are just parking in neighborhoods and walking to work, and it's congesting all the people's neighborhoods.
Hmm.
And it's just they're so ass backwards in New York.
Dude, it would
And
cost me. So my buddy's Christmas tree stand is on like 44th and 10th. And we usually stay up around 125th, 127th Street, something like that.
yeah,
And so every day that I'd go down to work, it would cost me basically $20 to go, back and forth.
right,
It's craziness.
yeah,
Just to drive down the road on my easy pass. Like, come on.
right. $40 a day,
Yeah,
200.
that's why.
Like,
200
fuck that.
bucks a week. Fuck that shit, man. They get enough of our money. They tax us on the money we make. They tax us on the money we spend. They tax us on. I mean, everything's taxed. You get enough.
Yep.
Settle down. Settle down.
Oh,
So
taxes.
what's your plans for coming up with the podcast? You got any big guests coming up or anything like that?
Not really. I kind of like. I only go like a week or two out. I mean, I have like seeds planted for some people,
Yep.
but I think I don't have one this week, but I got one next week. There's actually it's so funny. Like Remember how I was bitching, like, why don't we have like a text thread, even though we did?
Yeah.
Because Instagram, I hate, I don't, I prefer everything be a text message because that's what my notifications are. I like people send me messenger on Facebook. I'll get it daily. So this kid sent me a message. So you know how there's your primary messages in Instagram,
Yeah.
general, and then there's like this like subset of it.
Yep.
Well, it doesn't come through on your phone, I don't believe, but on the app on my computer it does. And I never go on Instagram on a computer, but I happened to the other day. And I had this like message request, and it's this musician from June of last year that
Shit.
literally lives above my studio asking to come on the show. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And my girlfriend sitting next to me, she's like, who's that texting you on fucking Instagram? I'm like,
Right.
I don't know. So I reached out to him. I'm like, I know it sounds fucking crazy. It was 7 months ago you messaged me, but literally, man, I never saw this.
Yep.
And he's still living upstairs. So I said, hey, come on down for some beers next Wednesday. So he's coming on.
Perfect.
But it's people like that that can like launch me into some, they probably know some, higher up musicians or, stuff like that. Like Steve Phillips from the Mets. I got him on because he walked into my bar one night and I was just like, I actually didn't think he was working. I didn't realize how busy this guy actually is. So he's on Baseball Network, but he like VSIN or VSIN, the gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so that's like a big conglomerate, and he does like shows in Chicago, like all the localized ones, Chicago,
Okay.
all out in the Midwest, and he just does it from his house, and he's got a little studio at home, and so he lives in Milford. So I'm like, yo, come to the show, and he's like, oh, I'm really busy. I'll just do it, over the like I don't do the StreamYard yet. So
Okay.
if somebody calls in, it's just audio. It's not
Gotcha.
like whatever app I have. I don't know. It kind of sucks, but
StreamYard's super easy, man. It really is. It's
yeah,
super easy. It really editing wise and all that shit, super
yeah,
easy on there.
yeah. I have the app, but for whatever reason, when I was on Anthony's a while back, I couldn't get it on my computer, on my MacBook. I don't know why, but
Huh. Yeah, the app. I downloaded the app because I was a guest on someone, so I had to use the app to get on that way. But other than that, it's pretty smooth. It's a pretty smooth setup. But yeah, man, it's cool when you get a chance to meet people like that, like especially like we were talking about Dan Patrick earlier, watching him. Like I said, I listened to Tinfoil Hat XG, the co-host of that show. I had him on here, looking to get him. He's got a show coming up in Jersey in a couple weeks, looking to get him back on, or possibly do a live broadcast with him down in Jersey. So we'll see what happens. But it's just cool. Like I'm a big Miami Hurricanes fan, so I had the Orange Bowl boys on here. Listen to their podcast for the past, I don't know, 6-7 years. Every week I listen to that podcast. To have a chance to chop it up with them, like this is awesome. So cool. I got a couple NFL guys, couple rappers. What's that?
Is that where Beck went? Carson Beck?
Yeah, he just went to Miami.
Miami, right? Yeah.
We can thank the Cavender twins, the girl basketball players there, the blondes. I don't know if you know who they are.
No.
And one of them dates Beck, so that was an easy get for us, man. We can thank them for that.
Nice.
Cost us $4 million, but if it gets us to a playoff, I'll take it.
Cam Ward going one or no?
Tennessee's smart, man. He's a good quarterback. He really is the real deal. I think he's better than Shedeur. I think Shedeur gets a lot of media hype because of his old man and stuff. But I think Cam Ward, we kind of seen it in this. I don't know if you watched any of the Canes, but the second half when they pulled him out of the game and we could not move the ball at all, it just showed how much value he brought to the team. Really, it made our players that much better. We haven't had solid quarterback play at the U since Vinny Testaverde, man. Or Ken Dorsey was the last good quarterback we had that held it down for us.
I'm actually a Tennessee guy of all teams.
Okay.
Living up in the Northeast, there's really no fucking powerhouses for football. So, I'm guessing you watched them as a kid, and that's how you became a fan, or was there some?
Yeah, there was a lot of that. My old man was a Notre Dame fan. I didn't want to like all the same teams, so I went the Miami route. I'm a Miami Hurricanes fan, Giants, Yankees, and then Miami Heat are my teams.
Oh, Butler! Did Butler play last night?
He did, I think. I didn't watch it, but I was reading something in the Post actually that he played but sat there or just played like shit and bitched and complained the whole time. Just get rid of him. Pat Riley's so stubborn.
Eva.
Pat Riley's so stubborn. Just get rid of him, get what you can get, and move on. Like it's a
Right.
rebuilding year at this point. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, you still got good players on the team. Uh,
Yeah,
I
Hero can ball. Bam's
understand.
nasty.
Yeah.
Build around him.
Yep.
Build
I mean,
around him.
and then we live and die by the three, like almost every fucking team now. But like everyone bitches about the threes and stuff. Like I don't like super mind it. You don't like. I said it the other day. The only reason why I don't like it is because like when we grew up, like a 20-point lead, the game was over.
Yeah.
Now you go up 20 and you lose by 20. It's like, wait a second, these guys just hit like 8 threes in a row, and it's fucking holy shit.
You can flip it around real quick. I remember, like, I graduated high school in 2001, and like you really weren't allowed. The coaches weren't really letting you pull up the three like that.
Right.
You could. I mean, it was part of the game, but like you better be open when you're shooting a three. If not, get to the hoop kind of thing, because that was still kind of the style of play. But
Yeah.
now, like, if I got a couple buddies of mine who I played with, their kids are now in high school, and the one kid, he's a sophomore, just dropped 50 points, had like 9 threes. I'm like, I don't think I took 9 threes my whole senior year. He's taking them in the first or second game of the year, just pulling up, and this kid's legit. It's really cool to see, when you got buddies that you grew up playing, their kids are pretty good at. Like this kid's probably actually going to go somewhere if he keeps his head on straight and hits the books and all that, man. So it'd be really cool to see.
I mean, you see some of these crazy ideas they're trying to come up with to like curb the 3-point shooting. Like,
Yeah.
they want a 4-point line, or they want to make dunks 3 points. So
Yeah, I don't want Rock and Jock. I don't want. Remember MTV Rock and Jock
yeah,
basketball? They
yeah,
bring the 20-foot hoop out. We don't need all that. Just
right.
like I don't know.
So I had an idea. Why don't they make the rim just slightly smaller in circumference?
Yeah, because you can already fit two basketballs at once in there. Shrink
Right.
it up a little bit.
Just shrink it a little bit. They'll maybe be more like you see guys with open layups get to the hoop and kick it out for 3 when they could have just scored 2.
Yeah.
It's like it's crazy.
I mean, if you got Steph Curry wide open in the corner for a 3, kick it out. But besides that, you're going like finish, like
Right.
legit finish, And then he also he helped the game so much in a way to really bring some excitement back to it because it was dying out. NBA was dying out for a little bit.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the pioneers of getting. There
Right.
was the Bird Magic to Jordan to LeBron era, and then LeBron's style of play is just just his body type. It's almost you can't defend him. Like
Right.
I do marvel at his physique and how conditioned he is, and
I
even
think
that. But Steph was one of those guys when he came along and changed. I mean, you could probably blame all the 3-point shooting on him. To be
Yeah,
honest with
because I mean, besides that, it was Ray Allen was the 3-point guy. Like that's
Yeah.
who you would go to. Ray Allen was the go to
Right.
shoot, the threes. But like I think in that little stretch there, we really missed out on a LeBron Kobe like finals rivalry kind of thing too.
Yeah.
That would have been really fun to watch.
Yeah.
Really fun to watch.
And that's what's different about Kobe to LeBron. I mean, I would personally take Kobe over LeBron,
Me too.
but like Kobe just crashed. Oh,
Yeah.
wrong word.
No pun intended.
Oh, like he scored that, finished. He was done. He was just like overnight. It felt like
Yeah.
he was just done.
Hit that wall and it was it. Yep.
Yeah, I think LeBron is going to more out like Brady and just cling on until he's 43 and then just still walk away, probably still being able to play the game where Kobe just couldn't play anymore.
Where LeBron too, some of the dunks, like he had a dunk the other day. He went up midair, switched hands, threw it down with his left over somebody. Like that's a dunk a 20-year-old supposed to be doing, not to do it in his 40s. Like that's wild.
Right. And that's why I do give LeBron a lot of credit for being able to, do it for all these years. But at this point, he's just, I mean, I don't know. He's one of those guys. He leaves the teams, he leaves teams in shambles.
Yep.
And I just hope, I mean, I don't think the Lakers are going anywhere anytime soon, but
nah.
I hope he hangs up.
I don't start watching the NBA really till, I don't know, probably another
couple months, probably.
Yeah, probably start at end of February. I'll start peeking a little bit at certain games, and then I'll watch a little bit of the playoffs, and then I'll get it all into it. But until then, that's pretty much it for me.
Yeah.
Who do you like for the college football championship coming up on Monday?
We'll
see if this is going to drop after that, so we'll see if your prediction's right.
I'm gonna root for Notre Dame, but it's one of those things where like who's playing the best at this time of year, and it's definitely Ohio State.
Yeah.
Like they're clicking on all cylinders. What's the line in that game anyway? I haven't
I
really
think
looked.
I think it was 10.
Really?
I think the last time I checked it was 10, but then someone said it was going down.
Right. I just don't think they can score with them.
That's
I
what
don't
I
know.
said.
Yeah.
I said Notre Dame has to control the ball, has to really ground and pound and 3 yards and a pile of dust type
Right.
offense to keep Ohio State off the field. Because there's too many weapons. They're not fast enough. There's not.
Right. Right.
There's too much speed for Ohio State.
I know. They're again, I don't like them. I don't watch too much college football because I'm usually working. So like it'll be on in the background at work.
Yeah.
So I don't really like, sit down and watch it.
8.5 is the line.
8.5. But like
Yeah.
Monday night, I'll be fucking asleep at halftime.
You're right. Monday, absolutely. 45.5 over under. So they're expecting a low scoring game. That's kind of where I had it. What did I pick yesterday for the? I said Ohio State just because of that.
You're under.
I had 35-17.
Oh, they are. Yeah, we're right.
So I had it over. Yeah. 35-17 OSU. As a Hurricanes fan, this is a very tough game to bet and be like even watch because I hate Notre Dame, obviously, Catholics versus converts.
Yeah.
And then Ohio State with that late penalty back in the 0-2 championship game. The Maurice Claret years and Willis McGahee, he blew up his knee in that game. That penalty gave them a chance to score again in overtime. We lost. That would have been my 6th ring right there, man. Be tied with Jordan.
So college, I when I was younger, I watched it all the time, and I always remember Tommy Frazier for Nebraska.
The option, him and Lawrence Phillips.
Yeah, him and Lawrence Phillips, and there was one. I'll never forget it. There was this one play where I forget who was announcing the game. It was a championship game. And he's like, Tommy Frazier broke like 8 tackles on like a 70-yard touchdown run. And last summer, I'm waiting on these 2 guys in the corner of my bar. And I look at one of them, and he's a chubby black guy, older, my age. I'm like, are you Tommy Frazier? He's like, yeah. I'm like,
no shit.
He was in town because we have the what's it called? The football banquet at Yale every year.
Okay.
And all the guys, all the ex-Heisman winners and runners-up, they all come out. And the owner of my restaurant buys them like not only dinner, but they do like a golf outing, and he takes all the golfing. So I said, hey, I got this podcast, blah blah blah, and he was like all about it. He's like, yeah, but he was also fucking 5 vodka Red Bulls in. I'm like, dude, you're 50. You're still drinking fucking Red Bull? He's like, I love these, man. I love these. I'm like, all right. So he lives out in Omaha, Nebraska, still. So I don't know. I just got busy. He ended up leaving. I called my boss. I'm like, yo, you got to get him on the show. I just want to talk some college ball.
Hell yeah.
It just never, not yet anyway. Never came to fruition.
That's all I mean.
The Walter Camp Foundation is what they come out for.
Yeah. That's a cool person to meet, though, especially, out of the blue, like, and noticing him being out there, like, dude, Tommy Frazier, like, that's cool. Like, I had, I'm a big comedian, like, I follow a lot of comedians and podcasts and other podcasts. Brian Callen, he's on Fighter and the Kid, always on Rogan every once in a while, does stand-up comedy. I see him walking down the street in New York City, and I'm just like, I was actually listening to his podcast, me and my buddy, while we were cutting a Christmas tree. And I'm like, yo, Callen. And he just walks over, hey, what's up, guys? And like, just cool as shit, has a conversation with us, taking pictures with us, bullshitting, like asking us about where the tree comes from. He don't give a shit. He's just being cool, keep a conversation, But it was cool, just like the experience, like to meet people like that is cool. Because where I am, I don't get that unless I go up to like Saratoga Racetrack and run into Bill Parcells or that's about it, really.
Mike Francis up there, right?
Yeah, he's up there. Portnoy's up there all the time.
Yeah. I just missed him a couple of years ago. He was doing a pizza review right by my hotel I was staying at. I didn't know. And then, of course, the next day I'm at the track and he posted it. I'm like, motherfucker, he was right there.
Yeah, he came up here and did one for the Fazio's restaurant down in Troy. And he gave him like I don't know, it was like one of his highest scores. After he did that, you always had to like kind of order way ahead for the pizza. But it turned into like if you wanted a pizza on a Friday, you had to call on Monday type thing. It was wild.
Wait, is that where I went when I was up
That's
there?
what. Yeah. Yes. That's where
Yeah,
you guys went. Yeah.
yeah,
The
yeah,
night.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it. So that
Yep.
place just opened up another right down the block. They opened up their new restaurant. They're doing like soft opening right now. I
Yeah.
went down the other night, man. We had a great dinner, and then I took a pizza home. Woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and crushed that thing because all I was thinking about was that pizza. It's so good. It's so good. But
This is like a pet peeve of mine. When I ever get like pizza, good, bad, or indifferent, like whether it's delivered or I bring it home and we eat it at home, my girlfriend like immediately takes the leftovers and puts it in the fridge. I'm like, babe, just leave it out in the fucking stove overnight.
yeah, one
Because
night's okay. Yeah,
it's not gonna go bad. But the minute you put it in the fridge, it's gonna fucking bind up and be shit. And now I gotta fucking reheat the fucking thing. No,
yep.
leave it. Leave it in the box for one night. After that, do what you got to do with it.
Yeah, that DeFazio's that's some good pizza for sure. So shout out them.
Yeah,
Uh,
we sat back outside. It was still
oh,
nice.
nice.
Yeah, it was good. I actually saw Portnoy's review, and that's when I texted the guys. I'm like, "Yo, you gotta take me here my first night." And sure enough, he got a. I guess he knows. Anthony knows a waitress over there or something.
Yeah, Anthony's got some connections. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. So that's a tough place sometimes to get into too. So it was cool that he set that up.
Well, I was busting his balls because nobody was there. I'm like,
Oh, really?
because he was in his, like text message. He's like, "All right, we really need a number. I really need to tell her number. How many people are coming? Is it 8? Is it 6? Or their wives coming? Whatever. Blah 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 blah." I'm like, Jesus Christ, just fucking make it 10. We'll get rid of the table.
Yeah.
Me being a guy. So we get there, and it's not like a one other two top.
Oh my gosh.
So I was
He's
just busting his balls. Like, fucking pizza better be good.
Dude,
Sure
he texted me the other day to sign up for his amateur tour thing that he does. And I'm
Yeah.
in the middle of working, and like within a 45-minute time span, I had 4 texts from him. Did you do it yet? Did you sign up yet? Here's the website. I'm like, bro, I'm like working, doing physical shit right now. I don't have time to go sign up for a website. I go, just sign me up. You know all my information here. And I had him do it for me because I didn't feel like doing it.
Right.
Fucking guy, he's great. He's gonna be fun doing this conspiracy podcast with. I can already see it. There's gonna be times where he's just be like, "Wait, what?" and mind blown and all that kind of shit.
He
But
just had Wilco, right?
yeah, it's Steve Wilkos on. That's I think he just released that episode on Thursday. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to listen to that. That's a cool guest to have on. That's a really cool guest.
Well, that guy's seen some shit on his show, and
Springer. Yeah. Did you ever go to a Springer show being out there in Connecticut?
No, it's not. Yeah, he was in Stanford, I think.
Okay.
Now Wilkos is in the city now. I think he used to be in Stanford, but I think they're in New York now, in the city. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But yeah, no, we always talked about it. We never did it.
Yeah, we used to talk about skipping school and going out to a show, but same thing. We never did. It would have been funny to go out there. We had a couple people like we knew from this area were on a couple episodes, so those were always funny to watch. And kids in school and shit's parents and shit, so it was ball busting.
Right.
Yep. But dog, man, I really appreciate your time. Why don't you let the listeners know where they can find you, brother?
Yeah, so I'm on the usuals, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I have a YouTube channel, Day Drinking with Dog. I release usually one a week. You just go to follow me at Instagram. It's DDWD Bottom Score Podcast. Once I finish a show, it goes right on there. So you can just click. There's links are all on there to click to watch. Hopefully, I'm getting some big guests this year. Like I said, I got a lot of. It's hard, man. Like I'm the kind of person that, like, if you tell me no, I'm like, okay.
So, dude, same thing. I don't want to be a bother. Like I'm the same way.
Whatever. Like when Dan Patrick finished the show with me, okay, I'll end on this. This is why the dude's a douchebag. So when he ended the show with me, he looked at his watch and he goes, "You told me this was only gonna be 20 minutes. It was an hour." And I'm like, at that point, I didn't care. The show was over. Like I got what I wanted. But I never told him that. I literally set up the show. He actually called me. I have a business card, and he called me. I was fucking half in the bag at a golf tournament in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
He's like, "We do tomorrow at 3?" I'm like, "This is a Sunday." I'm like, and we were staying over. I'm like, "Sure." So everybody's put it. He goes, "So he's talking about this 20-minute thing." And I'm like, and like it became like a mini argument. And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "Sorry. Well, you could have stopped me at 20 minutes in. I'm not going to tell you no."
Right.
And he's like, well, and then he joked and he's like, oh, well, that means I don't have to come on for 3 more years. We'll do 20 minutes a year, something like that. And he fucking left. So as he's leaving, I said, hey, do you think I could, check out your, because his studio is, it's right down the street from me.
Sure.
So he used to be downtown Milford above a restaurant. And then he bought like this old industrial complex. Fucking, I've actually been there before it was open. I was in there helping somebody deliver something. I just kind of snuck in and wanted to check it out. So, hey, can I, look at the studio? He goes, oh, no, we don't do tours. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So long story short, 2 weeks later, my buddy texts me and he's like, yo, did you listen to Dan Patrick Show today? I'm like, I don't ever listen to the Dan Patrick Show. Because I used to watch it when I was on like NBC Sports.
Yeah.
But now it's like internet, weird channel. I don't know. I don't dig too far past my cable controller. And he's like, I think he mentioned you. And I'm like, really? So he sent me the clip. And he's got Rich Eisen from the NFL Network on.
Yeah.
Says the Rich Eisen, he goes, don't you hate it when someone asks you to come on a podcast? And Rich Eisen's like, well, I mean, I guess, but you got to do it. Like, whatever, like help somebody out. He goes, yeah, well, I got this guy who said, hey, you want to come on my podcast? So I go over to his studio, which is like sitting in a closet. And he just starts like, reaming the show. And like, but I'm like, I'm just waiting for it. I'm like, just fucking say the name of the show. Say it. And he never said it. I'm like, this fucking prick. I don't care if it's good press, bad press.
Yeah, right. It's all it's good. Yeah, it's clicks.
So then I'm like, wait a second. He said a fucking closet. Fuck this dude. Because he walked in and he looked around my studio. Goes, this is pretty cool in here. Reminds me of when I started my show after I left ESPN. So he started his show in the attic of his house.
Okay.
With all the nets and all that. And they got in trouble because he lives in a, of course, ritzy community in Milford that doesn't allow businesses to run out of your house.
Right.
So that's when he ended up getting to the studio. So he was like telling me this whole story, and it was like a cool, like, all right, I'm starting out. I was only like a year into it, and here I got Dan Patrick. And then he motherfucks me. So I see him out like 2 weeks after that at a restaurant. And he's with his family, his wife, 2 daughters. And I send him over a round of drinks. And I say, just make sure it's on Day Drinking with Dog. And he's like, I watch him and he comes over and he's like looking around and he like finally makes eye contact with me. I'm like, I give him the old salute. And I'm like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah. That's crazy, dude.
Honestly, not very well liked in this town. Everyone.
I could see that though. I could see his arrogant attitude.
Yeah.
Like, just persona. Yeah.
But he's getting older, man. He's pushing 70.
I know.
He's coming to the end of his.
Like he was great on SportsCenter, like with Stuart Scott back in the day. Like that was the prime Dan Patrick, Stuart Scott, Eisen on there.
I want him back on to talk about what the fuck happened to Keith Olbermann.
Yeah,
that dude is off the rails.
Always.
Follow him on Instagram or it's on X?
No, I followed him. If I used to, but then he was just too much for me, man. Actually, I think I unfollowed him.
I just do it because this guy is just he's unhinged. I don't know why Trump got to him. I don't know what happened.
Destroyed him. But dude, really appreciate your time, man. I definitely like to link up with you again down the road. If there's anything I can help you out with, guest wise, networking wise, don't hesitate to hit me up.
For sure.
This how that shit works, man. That's how this shit works.
Absolutely. Likewise. Same to you. Like you run through the guests I've had. You don't have to listen to them, but just run down. They're all in the thing, and
same.
A lot of the people that Dan Patrick. No, fuck him. I'm talking to him, but
no, I don't even want to talk. He wouldn't come out because of the weed anyway. But like, I could probably link you up with my man XG if you wanted to get into some conspiracy shit and stuff like that from tinfoil. So I got a couple people I can link you up with for sure.
That one a couple days ago. I'm just kind of like, I listen to so much different shit, and I don't have the attention span to like listen to like a whole Rogan show. You know what I mean? Like 3 hours. But I like listening to the little clips. Now those guys have an Instagram page.
Tinfoil?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they got one. Yep. I think XG runs the page anyway, so best way to get in contact with those guys. Yeah. But I'll link you up. I could send you some information for him to get in contact. He's pretty cool dude. He always comes out. He's coming to Jersey. They're coming to Morris Plains. February 8th, right before the Super Bowl. It's nice. Eddie Bravo. You know Eddie Bravo from so he's coming. He's a big flat earther. Sam Tripoli and then XG. So should be a good time. Me and Anthony and Mikey are probably going to make the trip. Check them out.
Awesome.
But once again, appreciate everybody tuning in.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys go check out Day Drinking with Dog. And we will talk to you on our next episode. Probably going to be Tuesday drop. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Later.